Alive.
Oh, I
Sosapotence, man. What's going on?
I'm alive. How are you, my man?
Oh, hanging in there, like everyone else in this horrible economy.
Oh, geez, man. That's going to be a whole nother subject that we're eventually going to have to do a video. I know we
hmm
talking Black Panther today, but there's not enough time in the day for both.
I already know. I see your Facebook post, and I know you see mine.
Yep. Although people get mad at me all the time. They're like, "How come you haven't liked any of my stuff lately?" I'm like, I just do whatever comes across my feed. If you're on there, it is nothing personal. I am not avoiding nobody.
I
Right.
do I do the same thing. Like I try to, but I got shit to do. Like it
I
sounds.
no, go
I was
for
gonna
it.
say it sounds dickish, but busy people get it, and non-busy people are the ones that don't seem to get it. And I only like to associate with busy people. So
Plus, I think it's just so much healthier to be off there. I used to be obsessed with Facebook, and thankfully, I'm getting off that trend and growing up a little bit around the same time it's starting to die. But yeah, it's been a problem. But I used to live, eat, and drink it.
oh,
Yeah.
by the way, Eric, thank you for using speaker mode on this.
Oh yeah. I figured with us three talking, we would, yeah, that would make the most sense.
It will make the clippage easier.
I figured as much. Yeah, dude. Like we've been doing shorts, and we've been doing fairly well with those.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Tate.
if there's ever a short, again, because you don't get notified on shorts, if there's ever a short that I miss, just send it to me and I'll try to check your channel at least semi often.
Oh, you're good, man.
What what is super weird is I will occasionally, very rarely, I'll get a notification of a short that we upload. It's
That's
very
Yeah,
rare.
Well, because that's not really how YouTube works with shorts. Shorts are just
Okay.
like attention spans while you're on it, and then literally it's not just one attention span. You're there for hours, just like TikTok and stuff like that.
Well, what's their answer to TikTok? But I was surprised at the numbers that YouTube Shorts get because you think it's competition for TikTok, but you think TikTok would be ahead of them.
Yeah.
But really, they're not. YouTube kills them. But speaking of numbers, does anybody know how much this movie grossed?
Uh. So
right
so.
now, right now, I believe it's directly at 500 million.
And
See,
then
that's
how
the.
much did it
Oh,
cost though?
The people that report on such things and that I trust say it needs 650 million to break even.
that sounds right. Yeah, and how long's it been out? It's been out for a little while. I know it's still new, but
Dude,
it's
it,
been
it
out
just it
for a
just came
minute.
out last week.
Yeah,
Oh, were we that early on it?
Yeah. Believe it or not,
yeah,
actually,
that's why I hollered at y'all. I was just like, hey, let's get this Black Panther review out ASAP.
Ah, that makes sense.
yeah. Because at first I was like, I thought it had been out for a while, and then when Sosa when you commented on our video, and I was like, and then I started looking it up, and I was like, oh wow, it's only been out for a couple days. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I got an early screening for it the previous day, and like it's expected. This is not confirmed. It's just reporting and trends and patterns that it's gonna have a steep drop off, 72% over next weekend, which is really
Guaranteed.
bad.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
because there's no reviewability for this movie. In fact, what
no,
did I say in the theater? I said, "Geez, they should have called it Wakanda Forever
And ever.
and ever and
yeah,
ever and ever." Because I'm sitting there looking, I'm like, "Geez, we've been here for ages, and I know it's not even close to being over yet."
yeah.
And then there's this just ungodly afterbirth after the after the Hispanics fight the Africans for some reason, and it's just like, where are we going with this?
Yeah, it was really funny. My take on it is, and you have to understand my first take, is that I have this video out and it was on my old channel when I released it, and it got massive amount of views. I think 370,000 views. Um, but that was my old channel. I wish I could, things have changed since then. But it's all about how the first Black Panther is a great right wing movie.
What?
Okay,
It is.
I gotta hear this one because I think I know where you're gonna go, but I want to I want to see where. Do tell.
Yeah. T'Challa is Trump. The bad guy is Black Lives Matter. And Wakanda is the alt-right. Think about Wakanda. It is a xenophobic, completely race-based system on a merit, and its meritocracy is all based on bloodlines. It goes way past the most based monarchical shit like ever. Like where you literally fight to become part of the throne, and you can only fight if you're in certain bloodlines from certain tribes. Like they don't want anyone, the strongest borders you've ever seen in your freaking life. They don't care about anyone that isn't their own. Not only their race, but they live right next to other black people. They don't give a shit. That's a perfect alt right system. Like everything about that.
It is disturbingly fascist.
Extremely. My God. Yeah, and think about it. Even when and props to him. Everybody says this. Even the people who hate on the movie, they all love Eric Killmonger. They all love him, and he was great in it. But he literally even walks into the room to take the throne with hip hop tones behind him, and then he literally says, "I want black people on top." And T'Challa says, "No, Wakanda's wrong. The alt right's wrong. Black Lives Matter. The leftists are all wrong. I'm sticking right in the middle with Trump." And then they're all like, "No, it's not Trump because he says he wants to open the borders and be allies to the rest of the nations." Like, and then they try to say that even though it's complete horse crap. But then in the Civil War movie, they what was the female guard, the Dora Milaje, I forget, Okue or something like that. But she's talking to him. What?
I was gonna say she's the only character whose name I can never remember. I think it is. I think it is Akuye.
Yeah, even though I like her, I don't know. I just can't.
I just call her Michonne.
Yeah.
And that's bad. But whenever they're talking about opening up, they said, "I thought maybe we were going to open up a Starbucks." That's the limited amount of terms they were thinking on when they were talking about expanding the world. Like, so yeah, take any aspect of that movie, and it is all right wing. Even who I love, Manape, who they changed to M'Baku. He literally tells the white guy that he can't talk because he's white. And then they start chanting like monkeys. That is a right-wing message right there. That if you judge people and tell other people they cannot talk based on race, you are an animal. You are no better than the intellect of a monkey.
Yeah, they pulled that again in this movie randomly. And like, I get it.
With Kamaru Usman, yeah.
Yeah, like I get it. They're symbols like the gorilla and all that, but it's still kind of like,
Yeah. Well, see, they just ignore it in the first movie. They just ignore it, and I love in the second movie. It's a funny scene where they start talking smack to each other, and you can look at Kamaru Usman and the other Wakandan guards. They're like scared. They're like, these Jabari don't mess around. And then the female Dora Milaje guards step in, and they all kind of turn away as if to say, I could maybe win, but it's not probably gonna be fun. It's not gonna be worth it. So they just sit their asses down. It's quite funny.
Yeah, I had trouble trying to figure out what the overall point of this movie was, because it seems like, this is just how I read into it, it seems like they had a script that was going to have Chadwick Boseman in it, and then unfortunately we lost Chadwick Boseman, so they had to basically swap certain characters around. But I think they should have had a complete rewrite. But it seemed like they wanted to shoehorn some Chadwick Boseman memorial in too, which I get, and that's fine. But it just seemed like a really contrived kind of time-wasting mess, and a lot, because there were a lot of scenes that were, if the entire scene wasn't pointless, certain like a lot of parts of it were pointless.
Yeah. Well, like I didn't know this going into it. I honestly was in the camp of Disney's probably doing the right thing by not recasting T'Challa. Now that I've seen the movie and now that I've had time to actually look back in hindsight, oh, that was a mistake.
Yeah.
Like they definitely should have. Like, and the way that they handled his death is even worse. He dies by some mysterious disease. No, bro. Like I did a poll, and I'm sure y'all will agree with this too. I did a poll on my YouTube, my Facebook, everything. No one wanted T'Challa recast at the time. But what they should have done is had him in some fight where he's defending Wakanda for his life and he's in his suit. You can't see his face, but he's in his suit and you see him die, hero's death to these super powerful villains. Maybe it could have even been, someone who gets introduced in the 5th phase. Who knows? But even if not, you need to show him dying that hero's death. Now he got a disease and he didn't tell anybody. Like,
so how about this? They could have opened the movie with, like you said, like right in the middle of a fight between who we would find out would be was it Namor?
Namor.
Fucking
Wing boy
guy. Hermes. Fucking Hermes.
Namor. Say it right. You gotta roll the R, bro.
Oh,
Namor.
Lo siento. Namor.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I could have seen that, the opening fight being, and then right in the middle of it, you see Black Panther get taken out by this dude with fucking wings on his feet, and they're like, what the shit's going on? He just nerfed Black Panther.
That's freaking awesome.
And then now they're scrambling because they're like, what are we going to do? He took out T'Challa. What have we got? And then there's like this sense of peril through the whole movie, because if this guy can take out Black Panther in all of his superpowered glory, like, what are you going to do? That gives Shuri, like, okay, the Black Panther thing didn't work. The Black Panther thing didn't work. So we have to come up with some kind of technology. And they could have totally brought in, what's her name?
Riri Williams. That's exactly what I was thinking. That would have been a perfect reason to bring her in.
And then ultimately,
we need your help.
Yeah, and then not only that, then they could have, at the very end, Shuri could finally have embraced it. Like, you know what? Like, the technology and stuff is great, but at the end of the day, tradition serves a purpose, and she can assume the mantle of Black Panther, and with her technology, take out Namor.
Yeah, that would have been great. It really would have been. That was an idea that I hadn't even thought about. But yeah, and you noticed in that movie, they're staying away hardcore from Ironheart. They did the symbol, but they never said it. They know that people will lose their shit if they knew the truth that is already true in the comics, that she's supposed to replace Tony Stark. All people would lose their damn minds.
I don't see how you couldn't walk away from that, because, like, again, I know who she is, and I was in theater. I'm like, oh god.
You're not a normie.
We all rolled our eyes at that moment.
Yeah. But the normies will consume product and not think about it. But even they would revolt at that.
Yeah, it's kind of like me watching She-Hulk. Just every episode, I'm like, for fuck's sake.
Bro, She-Hulk, I will say this one thing. Lord, like, it was happening at the same time that the Rings of Power was going on. Rings of Power didn't do much of anything except make me upset. Now, I loved mining it for content. I laughed all the time, but I was still upset at its existence. She-Hulk was so bad. It was so hilariously bad that I genuinely felt good at the finale. I was like, wow, they went full retard. They went full on. Like, I was laughing. I was like, this is everything that I could have ever hoped for Disney to double down in this way, to say, we don't give a shit about y'all. I was like, this is too good, man. It was too funny.
Well, and the real pity of that, along with Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, is they had all the ingredients to make a really good show. Like, She-Hulk could have been an amazing show if they just tilted a bit, because I kind of liked the concept of, like, yeah, they're superheroes, but there are legal issues that will arise. And it's an interesting concept, and even having, because She-Hulk in the comics was hugely popular.
Mm-hmm.
Hugely popular. They had all the ingredients, but for some reason, and they brought Daredevil back in a. I'm glad Daredevil's back, but it's not the way I would
Are
have
you
done
really
it.
though?
That's what I was gonna say. It's not the way I would have done it. I can't imagine Matt Murdock hiring a superhero tailor.
Yeah, like no. But it really was that funny. But let me get your take on this. There is two takes on Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. My take is that it is again a right-wing movie, and I'll tell you why. Tells you to avoid war. Shuri is a dumb young teenager who does nothing but get proven wrong the entire time. She scoffs at tradition. She scoffs at everything, anything superior to any advice she ever gets. And yet she is proven wrong in the end, and all of her betters, including M'Baku, everybody, they're all proven right. To me, it's just an affirmation that she's not going to be Black Lives Matter. She's not going to be Eric Killmonger. She's going to be like her brother and follow in his footsteps, not do what the old Wakandan Guard is doing. But to me, it's just a reaffirmation of everything in the first movie.
I thought you were gonna say it was because they wanted to take out the Mexicans, but
no, that's funny. Those jokes. I love those jokes, just like anybody else. And if Dave Chappelle tells them, I will be all in it. But I personally don't oftentimes tell those jokes. Not that I don't think they're funny, but people oftentimes really think that, and to play into it, it's just like, I'm not telling you not to. I'm just telling you how I think about it.
I was just
really
gonna say
that shit.
I was just gonna say it's low hanging fruit. I can't help it. But
no, that's completely fine.
But I did find it funny how the movie was kind of setting up, like, they weren't coming out and saying it was a race war, but it was kind of a race war.
Right. There was no race involved. It was fish and not fish.
But they went out of their way to show that they were Mesoamerican fish.
Yes, absolutely. Very important.
And I'm not sure that they had. I'm not well versed on the Submariner. I'm sure he's probably gone through several iterations, but I don't know if, like, the newer comic versions of Namor are where he is, like, Mesoamerican.
That was a good rule.
I know. I'm throwing in there.
He's not. Now, it's not really like a big deal in the comics so far, but hey, Eric, Google real quick who the guy is that played the Dracula movie. That actor. Everybody wanted him to be Namor, and he is in real life, and he still has minority, some sort of mixed race complexion or something like that. He would have been perfect.
Which Dracula movie did you say?
He's the guy who played in the Fast and Furious movies.
Okay, hold on.
I don't know. Oh, you know what? Hold on.
I was gonna say, while we're talking about Namor, the other thing that I got from him just as a character is, I mean, they set him up to where it's like, oh, he's going to be a threat, but then it's weird. It's almost like he wasn't that big of a threat. It's just everybody seemed to be very stupid around him.
Luke Evans, yeah. Luke Evans, Count Dracula. He would have been the perfect one. Anyways, continue, my good sir. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, I was just saying, like again, Namor. They set Namor up like he was going to be this big threat, and in some ways they did, but then it seemed like he wasn't so much of a threat because he was that serious and dangerous. It's just everybody else seemed to be very stupid when they were around or fighting him. Like, the Queen. I can't remember the Queen's name. Like,
yeah.
She's standing next to a glass window, and she's like, "Get back, child!" But she stays right there.
Yeah, well.
It's like, no wonder your ass drowned.
Yeah, well, she definitely wanted out of that movie franchise. But I'll give my props when it comes to this. To do that takes some balls. when they destroyed Wakanda, that took some balls. Props to them for that.
Yeah, that was another thing too, because after he does that, he's like, oh, okay, I'll give you a week to come around. It's like, really? You just killed a bunch of people. You really think they're gonna come around to your side? See
Yeah.
things your way?
Well, they did.
Well,
yeah.
see, that's the thing is too. He literally tells her on the second encounter, the Queen, Namor tells her that if you get the Americans involved, if you tell anybody, then it's an all-out war. He's still scared of America. He's still scared of all the other world powers, even though he thinks he can maybe win, but he doesn't. He's not sure. So anybody with an IQ level in the double digits would have been able to tell her, hey, go and get the Americans for help. Get but no, they try to fight her on their own. They try to figure all out because, black female empowerment.
I actually did love the fact that they didn't shit on the US during that meeting. Like they made it France that tried that covert op to take the vibranium. I know, right? I was like, yeah, France.
Bro, that's why it's a right-wing movie. They literally have the whole globalist system in the room, and she tells them to fuck off.
Specifically France, though. I resonated with that.
Yeah, I did like that.
Fuck.
Well, because honestly, and props to Disney, it would have been very easy to just be like, oh, the Americans got caught. So I was proud of Disney for that.
Yeah, play on that French stereotype. It's freaking true.
It really is.
Calling them cowards and right to their face, and then brings their guys. Here
Okay,
you go.
You know what? I do have to come to France's defense at that aspect. So it's really funny where it's not funny, but it's interesting where that stereotype came from. It came from actually when the Germans invaded during World War II. But
yeah,
I mean, the Blitzkrieg just hit so hard, and actually they held the Maginot Line. The Germans just didn't go that way. And then the French soldiers deserve a lot of props for holding the line and letting the English escape through Dunkirk. So it's funny because it's the opposite is actually true. Like the French were actually quite. And then if you go back to the First World War, I mean, they really held the line then. So it's interesting. It's an interesting stereotype that came from like a misunderstanding of what happened, but it's still fun. And then Monty Python immortalized it.
Oh, of course. And look, it's just what's happening now. They ain't holding the line for shit no more.
Well, yeah, that's true. But 1940s France, I tip my hat to you.
But seriously though, tell me that wasn't the whole globalist system being told to fuck off in that moment.
You know what? The more you talk about that, the more I'm like, damn it, he's right. It kind of was, but I think it was unintentionally a right-wing movie.
Oh, both are unintentionally right-wing movies, and I'll tell you why. Because when a black person who is competent and is given free reign to make a story that they want, it only proves that black culture, and even Dems, they don't deny this, black culture is inherently right-wing. They're very religious, and they have all those kind of old school values. If you leave it up to their own devices, they're going to do that. But Disney can't control them because then they can't make Ryan Coogler create a different movie or else they're going to be called racist. But yeah, that just proves another argument on the right.
Damn.
If anybody in the black community wants to add to that, feel free.
Yeah, please.
I have debated so many from that. Oh, but even Dems don't deny it. They know that they have a hold on their vote, but they're just like, yeah, they're very right-wing people. Their culture is and everything.
Well, the Democrats just in general want they don't. I will say this to them: they use race as an exploitive measure to try to get votes from people. At the surface, they don't really care. They don't really care what your ethnicity, gender, whatever. They just want you to be a victim, and they'll do it however they can.
Well, yeah, and I'll take it even one step further. Not to get too off topic, but it all comes back around. It's all intentional. It's just mental slavery. All they've done is change it from physical to mental. That's the only thing that's happened.
Well, yeah, and they figured out that if you make it mental slavery, it's actually you don't have to actually care about race because you can enslave anybody's mind. You just have to figure out what makes them tick.
Exactly. But going back to the movie, there is also the left-wing perspective. Now, this is not my perspective. This is only the left-wing perspective, and it's hilarious because they can't deny it. Okay, if you think that this is a left-wing movie, if you think this movie is woke, then you are essentially admitting that black people don't like Mexicans, and the way that they think of them is even worse. That literally the bad guy is a Mexican who crosses the border into Wakanda. That makes him the bad guy. He threatens to invade them, literally threatens to invade them. And then, in order to be able to beat him, they literally have to make him not a wetback. They literally have to dry his ass out.
Oh my God. The best part of that is when he first comes into Wakanda illegally, he comes from the water.
Yep, exactly.
Holy cow.
It's a very woke movie. It's very woke.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
What is going on?
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta watch this. I gotta watch this movie again.
Yeah, with this newfound perspective, yes.
They're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It seems like they're asking for a visa.
Exactly. Very, very. It's a very woke movie. That's all. I'm just repeating myself at this point, but yeah, that's literally the plot.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Oh, and like, okay, what are you going to do next? An Asian film so that you can make everybody but the white race the racial supremacist?
They're going to do it.
Is a racial supremacist. Namor believes in his own Aztec Mexican city fish people supremacy. Like,
well, yeah, they're going to do a Shang-Chi crossover.
Yeah. Shang-Chi is going to end up just wiping out an entire race accidentally with his rings because they're too powerful now that Galactus is nearby or whoever. Like,
I'm excited for Shang-Chi. That was decent.
Yeah.
That's another. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, go for it. Go for it.
I was just gonna say that was another problem. I didn't bring this up, but I've heard people bring it up. It's like, okay, yeah, there's this big global crisis, and yeah, maybe Wakanda doesn't want to reach out to the United States for some reason, but where are the Avengers?
Hold on.
And none of them were at. Yeah, and none of them were at T'Challa's funeral. Not a single Avenger in sight. It's almost like the studio can't afford. It's like they have the Deadpool problem.
Oh, that's perfect. I like that. I didn't even think about that.
I would have loved.
As far as I'm concerned, that's just racist. They didn't care about the black hero. They showed up for the white hero, Tony Stark, but they don't give a shit about, you know.
Well, yeah, but what about Captain Falcon America?
Right. You got to do better, Senator.
No, he got stuck in customs as you got to do better, officer.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, but I think about it more from my perspective, the right-wing perspective. In both movies, the first one more than the second one, but in both movies, they need to call the white guys in order to be able to succeed in their mission. They have to have their help at some point.
I will say the first movie did. I think the first movie was leaps and bounds better than this one, and the first movie is really good. I think it was a touch overrated for obvious reasons, but on the whole, it was a solid movie with, I think, an overall good message. Just because, like you said, T'Challa finds the middle ground. He's like, listen, we can't do what we've been doing, but at the same time, we can't go like, okay, now we're gonna go take over the world. We got to find a balance.
Exactly. Like, oh, sorry, I thought you were done.
Oh, I kind of was, but I just had another thought. Because interestingly enough, I've seen Black Panther a few times now, and what I keep taking away is like Killmonger might be the only villain I can think of where like he's not wrong, just the way he's going about it is wrong.
Well, his sort of kind of, I understand what you're saying. He the way he's doing it by protecting black people is by making them the racial supremacy of the world.
That's the way.
It's not really a good thing either way. Well, but he's been so warped. He's a classic victim, you know, of psychological abuse and all the trauma that he went through. Whenever, you know, he found his dad dead, what would you do in that situation? Your mom isn't anywhere.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, and I'll clarify what I mean, because like you're right. No, the supremacy is not, but the fact that his father was certainly to his point of view, was unjustly killed, and he was left to essentially fend for himself. So that's definitely wrong. So you can obviously see why there's resentment there. But he does make a good point. It's like, listen, you guys have the means, not just for black people, for the entire planet. We have the means to alleviate a lot of suffering, but you're instead going with your isolationism to the point where it's detrimental, at least from his point of view. So
exactly.
Yeah, the supremacy part is wrong, but I can understand why he would come to that conclusion.
Yeah. But I mean, the think about this too. The only person to tell the truth for pretty much the entire movie is the bad white guy. If that isn't perfectly representative of our culture nowadays, I don't know what is. Literally, he's in that interrogation room, and he's saying, the Wakandans have a whole bunch of, what do you call that metal?
Vibranium.
Yeah, They're literally, he's the only one telling the truth. Everyone else is lying to each other, and he's the only one.
Oh, you're talking about the first one. Okay.
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. I thought you were. I was like, wait, who's the bad black?
Yeah, I was a little confused.
Who's the bad white guy?
Yeah.
I was like, well, Bilbo wasn't really a bad guy. I kind of question. No. I question why he was in the movie, but no, yeah, in the first one. I'm talking in the second one. I don't really. Why was Bilbo even there? What did he do, except get arrested?
In this one that recently just came out, or the first one?
This one.
In this one, he just provided intel, basically.
Yeah, I thought they had all that surveillance technology, though.
I thought so too. Whatever happened to that one little fly robot thing that just appeared in the movie and then disappeared and was never used or thought of again when it was convenient?
Well, and they didn't even need to use it. They could they were already in the middle of fucking nowhere. Just jump out of the bushes and be like, ah.
Plot armor.
Mm-hmm.
For the bug?
Well, yeah, they can't overuse it. Like, this makes too much sense. Let's not.
Yeah, you gotta watch that CGI budget.
Yeah, for real. She-Hulk, once again, they literally were making fun of themselves. It would actually have been a funny dig on themselves if there weren't so many reports saying that they basically treat their visual art affect people like slaves. So they're really playing themselves.
Jeez.
So I guess my overall question for everybody is, if you had to give the movie an overall letter grade, what would you give it?
7.
Letter grade?
7.
Like barely passing. Like go ahead.
D-.
I was gonna say D-.
Hey, mine's a C, a C- essentially. But I mean, I'm completely cool with y'all's opinion. Like, I like some of the aspects of the movie. I didn't like the ending fight was really short, but it was, it was actually good in my opinion.
The only thing I didn't like was when she got because when she got skewered.
Yeah.
Like,
she had a go-on moment.
Yeah, big time. But she's fine. And then the fact, I wonder if either of you noticed this. I know we're getting short on time for this, so I'll make this quick. Like, you saw how many people they had on the weird Wakandan submarine, which is weird that they had that when they're a landlocked country in the middle of Africa. But you saw how many people were on top of that bad boy. And then at the end of the fight, like, there's hardly any people left. I'm like, so wait, you killed all those people and you're just going to be like, okay, we're going to stop fighting now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, really? Like, so many Wakandans died.
Yeah. I mean, it is better than war, though.
Well, yeah, I mean, but it's just...
You have to learn your lesson.
Yeah, exactly. But, like me personally, like, I liked what they did at the beginning, like, with the Chadwick Boseman scene. I was honestly expecting more, though. I was expecting a bigger funeral, a bigger deal.
I was so let down.
Longer. Yeah. Like, what they did was good, but it wasn't long enough. It wasn't enough.
No,
I kept... Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, and like you guys were talking about earlier, was the undisclosed illness, that took his life.
Oh.
That immediately set the tone for the movie, and then I was like, oh, this is not going to be good.
It's lazy writing, is all it is.
I agree.
Extremely.
Also, I kept noticing hilarious things in the background that were unintentionally hilarious. Like during the funeral procession, one of the guys on the right side of the screen like stops dancing randomly and then looks over at the guy next to him and is like, "Oh, we're still dancing." and then did you see the statue in Riri's dorm room?
I didn't.
I pointed this out to you, Eric. You've just forgotten the statue that you don't see the statue part of it, but you see its shadow. The statue with the massive dick.
Oh yeah, dude, that was that was so random too. Yeah, that was. It
stuck out to me because in the movie Accepted, one of the characters discovers that he is like a master wood carver, and the first thing he makes is an African fertility statue with like a 2-foot long dick.
Yeah.
And I'm just seeing this shadow cast on the wall. I'm like, damn, Riri.
They were excited.
We all know what you're thinking about.
that's what I was thinking. He nudges me, and I was like, "What are you thinking about?"
Hey, man. Appreciation. Man. Yeah.
And she's a tiny little thing too. She wouldn't even be able to take half that.
I saw the way she was looking at M'Baku. Actually, did she even meet M'Baku? I can't remember.
No, I don't think she did.
I was going to say, I don't think she did.
That's hilarious.
She just heard about him.
I'm sorry, I didn't notice that. I was cringing too much at the brief, but still extremely, just scene where they're doing the Bechtel test. They're doing the automatic with every show and every movie. Female, not empowerment, female glorification. Yeah, I like her. AKA translation to the audience. Everyone should like her too. You never had to tell Tony Stark to be liked. They literally put that in every freaking thing that they're in, whether it's She-Hulk or whatever. Like, there's always some scene saying how awesome she is.
Yeah, instead, like Robert Downey Jr. just got on screen. It's like, oh yeah, you're gonna like me.
Oh yeah. Can we all sit down?
Well, see, that's the problem, and I will hand it to females in this particular situation and Hollywood writers. They so badly want to write strong female characters, and see, that's what they don't get is that the right also likes strong female characters. There's like the first Wonder Woman. We love that shit, but they don't know how to cater to the audience because women don't like going out and seeing women just whoop up on men. You know what girls really love going to see is Thor. Now, not the last one, but they want to see Thor.
I was gonna say that shit. Although I will say they probably liked a certain scene of the latest Thor movie.
Yeah, but that's what girls want to see. Guys don't want to see that, and guys want to see men being heroes too. No one really gives a shit about seeing female heroes. Not really.
Not inherently. But yeah, but it's because we like to see heroic characters.
Yeah, something that we can relate to also.
Yeah. I think we got less than a minute there, Eric. You want to go ahead and...
Yep. I'll invite you right back. All right, there's you.
Yo.
All right,
I am here.
We are back, but I'm having technical. I've been quiet because I've been dealing with this shit over here. The speaker view is not working properly.
It's probably because there's too many overlapping voices. But while you're dealing with that, I'll go ahead and tell everybody about tonight's sponsor. Their logo's on it. OMG CBD, located at 935 2nd Street.
Look at you.
Oh, I remembered it. In Columbus, Indiana, all your CBD, Delta 8, Delta 9 needs. And plus, I mean, the owner's pretty kick-ass. So,
yes, she is.
Yes, sir.
Well, you have to say that.
Well, actually, it is woman-owned. It's not just me.
While we're talking about strong female characters... Owning business, but seriously, I personally see I'm a weird dude, I don't want anything with like THC or any of the synthetic stuff. But I messaged her and I was like, hey,
Square.
I need
No,
some.
just kidding.
Yeah, nerd.
I mean, you
But-
can do whatever you want, man, but I'm all over that shit.
Hey, and no
Say-
hatred. No hatred. Yeah, you are, Eric. That video is hilarious. But I told her, I said I needed something to help me sleep. So she was like, well, we have the just CBD gummies. So, and these things will knock your ass out, especially when you don't have a tolerance like I do.
Mwah, love it.
Yeah. So check out OMG CBD, website coming soon.
That's all on me.
I'm gonna holler at y'all about that afterwards because I basically keep my CBD shop in business because I take that Delta 8 stuff, and if y'all have something similar, I might buy it from you.
Well, I will definitely talk to you about it.
All right, cool. Yeah. Afterwards.
Yeah. Plus, I heard they've got some really cool candles in stock now. So I've been told.
Yeah. We.
Anyone
we
else? Oh,
ahead.
sorry. Go.
I was just going to say we partnered with Stevie Wicks, Jake. That's one of your
The other
sponsors,
sponsor.
Brock.
So you can get all you got everything you need to make a weekend.
Heck yeah.
Light some candles, drop some gummies, and watch the walls talk to you.
Bro, I buy the 75 packs like in bulk. That's the shit. Like, I get a lot at once. I had to have hand surgery because I got stabbed in my hand about 6 months ago. And then I was never really that much like about any of that stuff. I would maybe take it like occasionally. But then when I needed it to take away the pain and the sleep, boy, I got hooked on that shit so bad.
It really makes a difference, you know, and just
Man,
how
I feel
you
like
feel.
an addict. I really do. I feel like an addict. I'm like, I don't have to take it, but I always want to.
It's dangerous. It does lead to the fridge.
Yeah.
It's a gateway drug, bro. And this and hydrocodone. Oh my god. Oh,
Well,
I'm surprised I still have a stomach lining afterwards.
I've never really dabbled into anything crazy.
I haven't either. I don't drink. I don't like alcohol. I don't smoke. I never been into smoking weed or anything like that. But something I can just pop in my mouth and actually taste halfway decent. Boy, that shit's hard to get over.
Yep. I'm the same way.
Because I will say I hate the CBD drops. I've tried those before. The gummies are just.
Well, the CBD drops, you're supposed to put them on the bottom of your tongue and then hold them for a few seconds. That's the best way to get it in your blood system.
Yeah, I'd rather just pop a gummy. Although the bad part is I started taking these and I'm like, shit, now I want gummy bears.
Yeah. And the release on these things is so random sometimes. It's not based on how much food you've had to eat that day either. Sometimes it'll work in 20 minutes. Sometimes it'll take fucking 2 hours.
The distillate they use in those gummies, it's not all the same. You gotta think they whip up a batch of this distillate and then they put it in they put a certain milligram in each gummy, and it's not 100%. Like sometimes you're just chill, and then sometimes your head's stuck to the floor.
For that too, but for me the release, because sometimes I take it ahead of time. I think to myself, I got to do an early screening. I just saw a movie. Let me pop this in. By the time it kicks in and I'm done with my video, I'll be all done. I'll have it uploaded to YouTube, scheduled, and everything. And then I'm in the middle of my video and it starts kicking in and I start just ranting. What was I talking about, guys? You know, I'm not even going to edit this shit out, bro. I don't care.
This is Sosa Uncensored.
I have no personal things. Like, that's just, I am not scared to reveal anything about myself.
No, that's us too.
All right, let's get back to the movie.
Well, yeah, but let me just also point this out too. We'll get back to the movie in a second.
You're good.
But whenever they talk about the right has moved farther right and the left hasn't, which is complete horseshit. We all know that the left has moved, eons beyond where they were. And it's actually the right who not only comes out in support at least halfway of dealing with gay marriage. Trump was the first president to openly be for it. Who in the right mind would have ever thought that Trumpians and Republicans like us would have been taking CBD products? Don't tell me that the right has moved farther right. Fuck off.
No, we did a short not too long ago about that, which performed terribly, and I'm disappointed in you, YouTube. All of our good shit, you never, but the stupid shit, you love it.
Well, that's how they are. They don't want to hear truth.
This guy on a fucking edible watching the Home Alone like knockoff music gets like a few thousand views, but somebody drops some knowledge on your asses, and you're like, nope.
Well, it probably helped that I added Afro Man because I got high music in it. You know, that could have.
Oh, that definitely helps.
Yeah. And then
I'll say one thing about YouTube. It pays off to edit the videos, and I don't do it most of the time. I do sometimes, but like people will sub more often for that extra content. It will spread around YouTube more, but it's such a freaking hassle, man.
Yeah, we've kind of
the shorts have been our great saving grace.
Yeah, generally they usually perform better than they do worse. It's always when I think it's going to go great, because I did the one where it's like, oh yeah, well the pattern of what's happening in Ukraine has happened before, and I go on this long-winded tirade about Germany and Czechoslovakia and blah 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 blah, and I'm like, that's going to do really well, 5 views.
Attention spans, man.
Well, it's still it's less than a minute.
If they're not laughing like 90% of the time, their attention span's gone.
It does seem it's either got to be funny or it's got to piss them off, because we got some sorts where people hated us. I'm like, that's not what we said.
All right, Jake, I got a question for you. It's nothing to do with podcast. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
I had to switch us over this way because for some reason when I talked, it didn't put my face.
Yeah.
So
I was running into that with Brian one time. It was weird. So I can work with this.
Okay. I was just gonna say, because it's hard the other way, because yeah. All right. We're back to this.
DC Comics. Y'all know who Anti-Monitor is, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Why does the costumes, why does the suits for the Dormelage that Shuri made for them look exactly like Anti-Monitor?
Well, I said Predator, but you do have a point.
Looks exactly like them.
Yeah. I did. When she unveiled it, I was like, "That's what you went with." No wonder they don't want to wear it.
Yeah, for real. I don't blame them. They look like a multiversal being in them.
Well, and then not only that, you just made me think of another problem. So, like, she was able to 3D print the bullshit MacGuffin read, right?
Yeah.
Why is she the only one that took some?
Because she's respecting tradition.
Oh, what a convenient time to start doing that.
Well, the more she grows and the more she learns, the more right-wing she becomes.
I guess my point is, if you're in the middle of a war with superpowered beings, like, they've established that you can get rid of it. So it's like, give them emergency Black Panther powers.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Oh no, I guess I would have just been too goddamn smart.
Yeah.
All right.
For these woman geniuses.
Hold on though. This is this is not what you guys are talking about. But what's the difference between the vibranium underwater than the plant versus the vibranium which she took? It didn't give her wings on her feet.
Fuck if I know.
That made zero sense. Like, do you think it was because of water? But the thing is, the plant underwater that they ingested turned them into avatars. And then
why were they blue?
And then when she drank the stuff and he was in the womb and it gave him wings on his feet and stuff like that, and it's like, so
made him a mutant.
What? It made zero sense.
Really, that's gonna be the source of mutants in the X-Men. In the Marvel universe.
Oh, vibranium?
They got it from a plant underground. What the? Are you serious?
You do bring up a good point, because, well, and that's what kills me is
vibranium metal or is it just an element?
It's metal, but I guess the logic is, which it really doesn't make any sense, because I guess like the vibranium seeps into the groundwater or some shit. I don't know. It's a bullshit MacGuffin weed.
Right.
Yeah, it's the hardest metal on Earth, yet they can form it to basically fit anything, including an Ultron bot. What?
Well, I guess it's kind of like adamantium, where once it hardens, it's indestructible. But again, how would you harvest it if it's
Exactly.
indestructible? If it's virtually indestructible in its, well, I guess it might be kind of like how obsidian, you form obsidian with another piece of obsidian. Maybe I don't.
But if it attaches to their bones like adamantium, then honestly, like unless it has magical properties that make their muscles stronger to carry that weight, because I'm assuming that it's making their bones much stronger or more dense or something like that. You know, kind of like the John Carter of Mars. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
You
Oh
and
man,
you
that movie.
you
I think that was an underrated movie.
you and John
Uh,
Carter.
I saw it when I was younger, and even then, I wasn't into it.
No, I just Virginia. Shit just cracked me up. Willem
All that
Dafoe is terrible.
headcanon and theories that we just came up with could have been easily resolved if maybe the movie just freaking explained it to us.
Yeah, and you don't need a long, like, drawn out explanation. It's just like you made a very good point with that. And then here's speaking of the fucking vibranium plant in Mexico. Like, this is another example of one of the scenes that, like, it was unnecessarily long, but it didn't have to be. So, like, they say when he's given his bullshit flashback about his mom, right? She's like, she didn't want to drink it, but then 2 minutes later, she drinks it.
She's made to. The
Yeah,
doctors
yeah.
convinced her it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, she was made to.
I guess my point is, but do you need to go into that? Like, why would she be apprehensive? Just say the doctors told her to drink it, and she said, okay.
Because she was a smart
No.
person and was like, I don't want to do what you say because I don't know what this will do to my baby.
Well, it said that in the beginning of the story. I don't know if maybe y'all missed that, but it did say that.
I remember that, but I guess my point is, like, it obviously didn't hurt her. It enabled her to keep on living and give birth to her son. So
Because the women are always wrong, bro.
I was gonna say, was there some latent anti-vaxxer sentiment in there?
But you know, Shuri, the real, I don't know what her name is in real life, but she's completely anti-vax. The woke have wanted to cancel her since the first Black Panther came out.
But
She's
she failed.
anti-vax?
Yeah, bro, she's anti-vax. She be saying right-wing shit all the time.
Dude,
Good for
I'm not
her.
even like, no, dude, I predicted that a large amount of the black community, like, I'm not trying to speak for anybody, but I just predicted this. And from what I've read, it's pretty true. Like, from what I understand, a large portion of the black community at least started out very anti-vax, because it's like, of any group of people, they know it's like, oh, the government's telling me to take this shit. Been down that road before.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
I'm looking at you, Tuskegee.
For real. I'm looking at you, Captain America, like the new one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, and he didn't even get.
the same shit.
Why don't they give him some of the bullshit MacGuffin plant from Wakanda? Because he didn't get no super soldier serum like old Steve Rogers did.
He's not Wakandan, bro. He's not real. He's not from the real ethno state, bro. That's how Wakanda rolls. You gotta have tattoos on your lips, or else you ain't getting in.
I think you'd look all right with a tattoo lip.
Check it, homie.
Let's bring it down.
Could you get a counterfeit one though?
Counterfeit?
I bet they have ways of verifying it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's vibranium ink, isn't it? Because it glows purple and shit.
There you go. See?
Yeah,
It gives you super strength in your mouth. Only women can get it.
Brings a whole new meaning to lockjaw.
Yeah. Them pearl whites, they're gleaming.
Wait a minute, they did let a white dude into Wakanda.
When?
They let Bucky in.
Yeah, but after.
Well, yeah, after the first movie.
Yeah.
So, I guess they didn't make him a citizen.
No.
They're just like, you can come in and work on the farm.
They literally didn't even let him have another arm. He was literally a slave driver, like lifting up cow shit. And they come to him with a gun. They don't even tell him. He just says, "Where do I fight?" And he's like, "Over here." Yeah, go do it, bro.
Was this on the
that
first
is
one?
supposed to be a
no.
war
That was in Infinity War.
Okay.
But,
You
I
know
mean,
what? That it is
true.
kind of fascist. So it's like, yeah, you can stay here and work the fields. Oh, but if we need you to fight,
I'll let you
do
know.
all
when.
this work without your other arm.
it sounds like Wakanda's trying to keep the white man down.
That's what it sounded like to me. But I mean, they said it themselves. I mean, the woke said it themselves. Wakanda is what Africa would be if the white men had messed it up.
Uh,
I mean, who was selling
what they
slaves
said.
first?
Yeah,
I don't know about that, but we'll never know. But actually, so since you seem to have a much better memory than I do, did they? No, I'm being serious because I was trying to remember during the movie, but I couldn't remember. Did they use the word colonizer at all in the first Black Panther?
Absolutely. It was their favorite thing to say at the end.
Really?
Oh, they loved it.
I couldn't remember that.
Don't me colonizer.
Oh, okay. I was trying to remember if they were bringing that back with Bilbo Baggins or.
They did.
Okay. I couldn't remember if they were bringing it back or if they added it, but the whole time I'm like, but Wakanda was never colonized.
For real. Like, but that's the politics of it now. And literally think about this, guys. For all the leftists who might watch this and might get triggered about this thing, literally just think about this. And Tariq Nasheed and other Black Lives Matter people have admitted this. I'm not saying everybody in the group, the movement, I'm saying that the leaders who they follow all agree with this. If you think that the white people are colonizers and they're the reason Africa is all fucked up and they're not Wakanda right now, you are essentially admitting that white people are superior to the black race because they kept them down this whole time. And there's nothing that the black people could have done anything about it. Y'all are the real white supremacists.
He's going in on it. What are you doing?
Who, me?
That's what I was wondering. I thought I had a little mic drop moment
Dude,
right there.
I thought he's about to bring out a book and just be like, this is why you're wrong, this is why you're right.
Oh no, I was just gonna make a joke.
Oh.
I was thinking that must be what he's doing, but I was like, what?
I was looking in the wrong
Tell
spot.
me I'm wrong.
Oh no, I'm just over here minding my own business.
It's true though.
I know, I'm just being a smartass.
Yes.
No, I know that. I'm just saying. I'm talking to everybody.
Argument, so I'll only say a name. Shaka Zulu.
Yep, I know what you're talking about.
He knows.
Yeah, I know.
He knows what's up.
Mm-hmm. It's so true. And speaking of, while we're on more politics, didn't y'all love that extra little bit of a lesbian kiss at the end that they could so easily edit out for China, and they didn't give a fuck anyways?
It was like 2 seconds long.
Dude, I give Disney.
It looked like a romantic kiss.
No,
because it's not. And
wasn't that?
Disney,
hold on, wasn't that Michonne?
No. Oh wait, no, it was Anika and her chick.
They're both in the door Melage.
Yeah,
okay.
But it wasn't Michonne. It was.
Well, see, my bad. I thought it was Michonne.
Well, I was about to say they all. I didn't mean it this way. But I was about to say they all look alike because they're all bald. But wow,
you racist.
Yeah, like that kiss. I didn't honestly believe it was even romantic. Now, after I thought about it for a second, I was like, oh, I know what they're doing. But if you didn't know Disney, you would not think of that as a romantic kiss. Like, I'm not saying I would, and I'm not saying that it would be a little gay, but if you have literally fought side by side your entire life with these warriors and you have saved the universe, 3 times at this point? You know what? A friend on friend for a guy, if they express each other like that, I wouldn't blame them. That wouldn't be romantic or terribly gay to me. Like, because they've been through so much shit. That's how underwhelming that kiss was. I was just like, okay, that was nothing. They're friends. I would totally buy 2 girls doing that.
Oh, 100%. But I get to step on my soapbox again because I do this every time Disney pulls this shit. It's why I do not understand why like the LGBT plus divided by the list.
Don't forget the P at the end.
Oh, there's a P now?
Yeah.
Pedophilia.
Yep.
Oh, fuck no. The P gets to leave. And besides, wouldn't that be M?
I don't want the P around. We just gotta be real about what they're doing.
Oh, 100%, but that's beside the point. So why that community is not up in arms, though, is beyond me because
Well, they are now.
Well, for different reasons. I'm talking about for Disney. It's such obvious bullshit pandering, and like you said, they do it in a way so that they can edit it out in foreign markets. But so they had plenty of opportunity to go out, like they didn't even have to go out of their way to just say, "Oh yeah, this character's gay." Like it could have easily been incorporated into her character, but it comes at the end where it's just like a shock, where it's like, "Oh, okay, I guess she's a lesbian." Didn't really address that earlier. But they do it in a way where here's what they expect. Disney expects like any lesbians in the audience just like, oh, they're talking about us when everybody was like, oh, she's gay.
And honestly, in that culture, wouldn't you believe that most of them are technically straight? What, you know, for the most part, like almost 90% of them would be the women.
Of course they are.
Exactly. You know, and I'm even talking like currently today, you know, over in Africa, you know, it's not whatever.
It's hard to say in certain areas of Africa though, because if you still have more, I'm trying to think of a place in Africa where I know this is legit. I can't. So I'll use Iran as an example, but I know there are places in Africa that still have certain laws like this, but like in Iran, you can't be openly gay or you will fucking die. So I can understand how it might be, but you'd figure in a place like Wakanda, which is this like allegedly tolerant state, that it would be okay. Well, yeah, I know they say they are, but
they're about as tolerant as the
left.
Say
that, but left tries to pretend maybe that they are.
Yeah.
But Wakanda doesn't believe that. They're like, get the fuck out.
Maybe in Wakanda you can be gay, but if you're white.
What?
I don't know.
That was almost as bad as me. The girls are gay.
Only the new Luke Skywalker is allowed in Wakanda.
Oh God!
Just because he's made by Disney.
Hey bro, he does look just like him though.
I mean, yeah.
If only they could have given them some good material, right?
Oh, for real. Like, although I still believe that there's a good shot they're going to redo all of Star Wars. They're going to decanonize all of it, put it in an alternate universe, and say it never fucking happened.
That's the only way they can save it.
It's the only way.
Actually,
I think there's a good shot they might.
Oh, I even said the only way they can save it is they get Mark Hamill back for the first movie of the new trilogy, and he wakes up from a dream and goes, "Oh shit, that was scary."
Yeah.
That's how that's how they're saving all franchises right now. The multiverse.
They're thinking about doing it with the Rings of Power too.
Oh God.
Well, they killed it with Spider-Man, so it's like, come on, keep it going.
Well, yeah, but Spider-Man.
Spider-Man was deserved.
I was gonna say Spider-Man had a good script that they put some thought into, and good, compelling characters. And they all hit it out of the park. But Tom Holland was a fucking master in that movie. Holy shit.
And I'm a professional Muay Thai fighter. Fight choreography is very important to me. That fight between Spider-Man and Green Goblin, both of them, that was shit. Yes.
Right? And is it because, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but is it because it was, I mean, realistic in the sense they were superheroes, but I mean, it was fucking brutal.
Yes.
That was Spider-Man not pulling his punches.
Well, like when each one of them got hit, and they did it perfectly because Peter's laying into him, and they make you understand that Peter is laying into him, and Goblin's just no-selling every one. You're like, oh,
he's smiling at him.
By the way, I love that
grin on his face.
Oh, dude, you did the same shit in that fight of yours I watched.
Yes, sir.
I fucking love that. I was like, oh shit, he's laughing.
You're like,
yep. I never claimed to be the best fighter, and I know I'm not. I'll be a pretty good Muay Thai fighter. I am not a great MMA fighter. Like, I can kick any average dude's ass, and I can hang with the pros, but I'm never going to be no Conor or even in the UFC when it comes to MMA. But with that being said, I knew how to make my money. I knew how to put on a show. I knew how to be popular. promoters would give me the greatest deals to come on their shows all the time. I didn't care. I've been Nate Diaz that shit all the time.
Oh shit! So, but speaking of fight choreography,
It
to
wasn't
me,
bad in this one. At the end, it was short, but I actually liked it.
I wasn't so much talking about that fight because that one you kind of felt. I think that Shuri maybe was a little bit too not super powered. I can't think of the word I'm trying to say. It seemed a little like they were right on the line of it being a little silly for me, but
They were right on the line, but
Yeah.
I don't think they crossed it.
I agree. I don't think they crossed it. They were getting close, but with the big battle
It
scenes,
was
though,
still perfectly clear that Namor was still the superior one at all times. They did it right.
I actually did like the fact that, like, yes, I know Shuri, right? That's her name?
Shuri.
Shuri, yeah. They acknowledge that Shuri now has superpowers, but like you said, Namor is still the superior fighter. So I'm not saying she cheated, but she had to use outside forces to beat him. She ended up using the afterburners on him.
Yeah.
I actually like that.
I'm gonna drop a little bit of martial arts knowledge on everybody. There is a anime called Baki the Grappler. I love it more than Dragon Ball, and I made my whole career on Dragon Ball. It is the best fighting manga and anime you've ever seen in your life, bar none, not even close. That being said, there's this guy named Kaku Kayu, and he is the ultimate martial arts kung fu master. He is literally the best under the two main characters, Baki and Yujiro. And the only reason that they're better than him is because they have demons in them. But he goes on a little rant after he faces the main bad guy, Yujiro, and he's just like, martial arts, all it is cheating. You can't win a fight strength for strength. You're not as big as your opponent. You're not as strong as your opponent. Then you have all these techniques. It's cheating. That's all it is. So, and there's nothing freaking wrong with that. So I like the way they handled it. He was still clearly faster, stronger, but she outsmarted him. She cheated.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with saying you cheated. That's all martial arts is.
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to say she cheated, because that implies that she did something wrong. It's like, no, you did exactly what you should do.
Yeah, exactly. All is fair in love and war. You do exactly what you do. If you bust someone over the kneecap but you're alive, who gives a fuck? Also, one of the other reasons that I like the movie more than y'all is, don't get me wrong, they fucked up by not putting the Doctor Doom post-credit scene at the end. But the mid-credit scene with introducing T'Challa's son, that was some good shit.
We actually left. We actually left. We didn't finish the scene because we were already there for like 3 hours and 20 minutes.
God, I cannot stand.
This was the first time we've walked away.
A little bit though. People who leave after MCU movies,
I know
they're so dumb.
You hear that?
Yeah, you missed a pretty good scene, bro.
We had gone through 2 hours and 41 minutes of. I'm just kidding. No, it wasn't that bad of a film, but like, yeah, no.
We gotten to Wakanda Forever and Ever.
Yeah,
and I just didn't want no more.
It was like when all the downtime scenes, it was really bad, in my opinion. But the fight scenes, they were fairly good, and honestly, I liked Namor. I thought he was a pretty cool character.
I think the character. I think the character was interesting, but some of his antics were left, which is why it was confusing for me to watch, because I'm like, I like the character, but some of what he's doing just doesn't make sense.
Well, he's not a god or anything like that, but the director, he is stating, this is the director's words, so I don't know how it's going to play out, but he's stating that Namor is the same strength as Thor or even Hulk. Hulk, okay. And I'm like, what? I was like, so this vibranium, I'm like, so technically do they have to go through that ritual in order to gain the powers, or can they just drink it? Like, I mean, because his mom drank it. Ritual. Okay, so like then anyone who drinks vibranium, gets
wrong fiction, bro.
Crazy powers.
Okay, Adam West. I'm going to drink uranium.
He's on some Back to the Future shit.
You have
Oh no,
lymphoma.
plutonium. Never mind.
That is until they get Mr. Fusion.
Oh man, I just
Then
debunked my
it
own
goes
self right on the stream.
then it goes organic.
You know, is anyone going to point out that the Wakandians, however you say their name, they have flying spaceships, if I could talk, you know, and you know they're trying to say they're
Get it
more,
together, Joe.
yeah, they're trying to say they're more superior. They're more superior. It's like, you know, aliens are more superior technically than humans, so.
You know, they say they're superior, yet to open the big gate thing, which they don't need anymore because now the entire world knows they exist. In this one, they do like the water drum thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw that shit and I was like, that seems unnecessarily complicated. What if you fuck up the rhythm and then does the plane crash into the force field? Or does it just go through anyway? They've got these things called buttons, guys.
What if you smash the water just an inch too hard?
What about Bluetooth? Just use Bluetooth.
Well, not only
come
that,
out, the door opens.
Not only that, it's two people doing the bullshit drum combination thing.
Oh, then they got to be good, or John Denver's gonna die.
Oh, it's like, come on, buddy, we gotta go practice the opening door sequence.
Like they would be perfect for the fusion dance because they're so synchronized with each other.
They were solid. What do you do if one of those?
They'd have to be in order to make sure that the plane didn't crash, you know, into the gate.
What do you do if one of the guys calls in sick, though? Like, is there an understudy?
There has to be, bro.
Or
you're racist for questioning these things. Don't do that.
I mean, I'm not saying like I'm sure I'm not saying a white guy would do it better. I'm just saying they would just be like, "Where's the button?"
Tread
you
carefully.
Cannot criticize this movie, bro.
Fortunately for me, it criticizes itself.
It does.
It criticizes itself, so I don't have to.
But in all realness, I'm pretty sure you all saw it on YouTube after you heard. But the mid-credit scene is good. It's basically introducing a new Black Panther, and he's going to be a young kid who can do lots and lots of movies and expand on the character over time. It was good.
This is good. I did read one article. It was weird. They were like it was fandom wire, so take it with a massive grain of salt. But they were like, should Marvel retire the Black Panther character? And I'm like, no. What the fuck?
So stupid. Like, believe me, in this movie, you feel Chadwick Boseman's lack of presence. You feel it. You appreciate what a great actor he was in the first movie, especially. And he was a great actor besides that, too. The way he played James Brown, bro, dude's got skills.
Yeah, mad skills.
You really missed him in this movie.
Yeah, you did. Although, spoiler alert for those of you who haven't seen it and yet have hung in for over an hour on this podcast. I was not expecting Michael B. Jordan to reappear, but that was a pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
And
just
I liked
for him to get blotted down.
Well, yeah, but I liked the thought process behind it because Shuri is obviously going through, and she comes to a similar crossroads. I think it was interesting that she ran into Killmonger in the ancestral plane or whatever. And did you notice that there were? So this happened when Killmonger went to the ancestral plane too. If you notice in the first one, there are bars on the windows. So when he goes to the ancestral plane, and then when Shuri meets him in the ancestral plane, they're all in enclosed spaces. Whereas when T'Challa goes, it's in a wide open space where he's talking to the other kings.
Yeah.
So I thought that was an interesting little tidbit. Also, how many times did I say it's like this movie is getting oddly similar to The Lion King?
A little bit. I've heard that comparison before.
It's like, she's like, sure, you have to go look in the water. And I'm like, what are you going to do? Tell her to remember who she is?
Yep. Seriously, though, I'm going to reiterate this question again, just because I want to. How are they going to explain Xavier and the X-Men? How?
Well, historically, it's just been a genetic mutation, but...
Yeah. Did they drink Wakanda herb, too?
Maybe way back in the day, because technically speaking, we all do come from Africa.
You know what? I bet that's what they're going to do.
maybe there's this like exiled tribe of Wakandans that were like, no, we don't want to stay isolated.
Is vibranium how they're trying to explain all the mutants?
Yes, that's literally the origin story for Namor.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say I can understand for him. Everyone else, I'm assuming the mutants, they just had dormant genes because who's
right? They all have to be recessive genes.
But I mean, the Indians have been around for a long time. And how old did they say Namor was? Did they?
At least 500.
500? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. At least 500 years. Yeah, because his big thing was happening during the Spanish Conquistadors and all that stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but he's equal opportunity for everybody, though. He'll kill everybody on the land.
Yeah. This is true. You can't call him a racist. Well, I mean, I guess you can call him a racist, but not in the same way.
Yeah, which it makes perfect sense because a wise king that's loved by his gods, is loved as a god, has all this life experience and wisdom and knowledge, wants to eradicate the entire and genocide the entire populace of land people once they discover that their existence is actually known. Like, oh yeah, that seems like a thing that a very wise and powerful leader would do. Yeah, it seems perfectly reasonable. A perfectly measured response. What do you think?
Well, and yet
trying to say Namor's Hitler. I mean,
well, but you do bring up a good point. He's willing to kill everybody on the surface, but for some reason he doesn't immediately kill Shuri and Riri.
Well, he wants their help, like, because he's not sure they can do it on their own.
Well, I thought he wanted Riri just dead. Period. Shuri maybe, but
he does. But you know, Riri probably alive for a little while to figure out how to beat the technology and stuff. But yeah, like. It's so stupid. The motivation is so stupid. He's basically like a worse Killmonger.
I mean, yeah, pretty well. Because Killmonger was, oh god, he was a hell of a character.
Yeah, I mean, both of them acted well, but their motivations. Killmonger at least makes a little bit of sense, but like because he saw Spanish people being driven into slaves by different slaveholders, he thinks that the entire populace of the earth is just no good. There's no redeeming people to be able to save on the planet. That's not in the ocean.
It's almost like he's making an assumption about an entire group of people based on the interactions of a limited few.
Yeah.
Huh. If only there were a word to describe something like that.
For real. And you know, and it's the Mexicans and Aztecs who feel that way. I thought it was the people who live on the land now that they always say,
Well, you know, their great-great-great-great-grandfathers did it, so.
Yeah. Never mind what's going on now.
Yeah. Funny that.
Yeah, that was an interesting 2.5 hours that I'll never get back. Could have been 30 minutes less and would have been fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it honestly would have been a little bit better if it had just been shorter and tight, a little bit tighter of an edit, but it just... So the good parts were kind of overshadowed by, oh, we're finally to the good part.
All right, pause. I'll be right back. All right, and we're back.
Well, I don't really have much of anything else about the movie that I hadn't already basically covered. And I was going to think about something later on and be like, fuck, I missed it.
Yeah, I was going to say, pretty much my gummy kicked in way too early. And I had nothing. I could not speak earlier, so...
That's why he's been quiet the whole time.
That is, and I am not fucking quiet.
He was over there meeting the ancestors.
And on top of that, I was over here trying to deal with this stupid freaking Zoom thing. It would not work, and it was driving me nuts, you know. And then I'm over here like I can't even fucking like barely move my mouth without my teeth like smacking.
You can have a similar experience if you visit OMG CBD at 35 2nd Street, Columbus, Indiana.
Do you want to be out of your mind? Come try our product.
Listen, if you have pain...
No, but for real, guys, do it. It's great.
You know what? If you want to do a hilarious ad for OMG, you should rip off the the 21 Jump Street thing where they talk about the HFS and he goes through the
Hell
stages.
Oh,
We'll hit each other up afterwards. I'll promote y'all's CBD line.
right on. Yeah. When you mentioned 21 Jump Street, 22 Jump Street, all I can think of was don't fuck with Korean Jesus.
See, ain't got time for your shit.
He's got Korean things to do.
Is that? Am I thinking of the right movie? Is that the one with Channing Tatum?
Yeah.
Yes.
Channing Tatum.
Oh my god, that was so freaking hilarious.
That's one of those movies where I was not expecting it to be that funny, because before I'd seen that I didn't care for Channing Tatum because I didn't know he was funny.
Dude, he was so great. And this is the end. He was only in there for like 30 seconds.
He's hilarious.
Yeah, he's great. Like, he has everything. He has good looks, at least what it sounds like, a decent head on his shoulders. Like, dude's got it all. He's the whole package.
Yeah. Like, oh my god, it's so funny though.
Yeah, to be able to be that comfortable with yourself, like, it takes another level of confidence. It's good.
That is no shit.
He doesn't do many movie roles now, but I remember when he did that Mexican accent. Oh my god, I lost it. You could never make that.
My name's Jeff.
Well, I love it because Jonah, like, I think we've all been in a situation like that too, where like our buddy's like taking something a little too far, but it's like you got to go with it.
Name's Jeff.
He's like, yeah, we met up with Dora and Boots.
Imagine if that came out nowadays. Twitter would lose their minds. Not that they aren't currently, but
hey, Twitter's getting better, man.
I don't think Channing Tatum can do any wrong. I think he would have gotten away with it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, Twitter. I don't know. Like, I want it to succeed, but I don't know if it will.
I think it might be too broken. I think it might be too broken.
No, according to Elon, the growth, and according to a lot of people who are on the right, they're gaining followers at massive rates, you know? So, I mean, maybe it's going to become a right-wing platform. Who knows?
Yeah, well, I'll join the club.
All fair platforms end up becoming right-wing because they always win. But when it comes to the government, I mean, he's literally going to have Joe Biden trying to come down on him. I'm not feeling too confident about everything. Like, the dude, maybe he's playing 4D chess. Maybe he's done it before. Other people have done it before, and then I see the light later on. Maybe. But how do you roll out the verification system without demanding people use their real names and verifying through IDs or something like that, school IDs, whatever, not verifying who they are? How do you let that shit happen? Who are you talking to?
I think what he's doing with the blue check is literally just making people go, like, this thing's pointless.
Maybe, but Jesus,
he's even said it. He's even said it. He even says it. He's like, the blue check is pointless, but I'm just going to make you pay $8 a month if you got to have it. And I was like, okay. Well, he said, we got to pay the bills.
If they ever get that system fixed, and then I can mirror my YouTube content to Twitter and stuff, like
that'd
which
be
they're
great.
Talking about doing, I mean, I'll sign up. I'm going to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, down the middle, the other podcast has a Twitter, but I'll be honest, I hate Twitter so much. Like, I hate it. I don't like the interface. I don't like it has to be one of the most toxic.
Dude, once you get used to it, it's honestly, you like it better. At least in my, like, Facebook is generated the way it is. It is definitely addicting, you know, horribly. That's why I have to turn off all notifications for it, because if not, I'll sit there and scroll on Facebook for hours. But Twitter, yeah. I can scroll for 5 minutes and then be done. Like, it's not like crazy addicting. But it is good. I like it.
Yeah, I think the system, if it's run fairly and well, is the best social media system. And I grew up on Facebook, so.
Yep. Well, Jake.
Shall I lead us out?
Well, I just want to say big thank you to Sosa for coming on and listening to Jake talk, because I was too high to talk. Appreciate you coming on, man.
But I wasn't going to say nothing.
Yeah, you're good. But go ahead, Jake. Lead us out, man.
Well, thank you once again for enjoying another episode of the Average Intelligence Podcast. Hopefully you're a little bit less average and a little bit more intelligent. As always, you should like, share, and subscribe, and also check out Sosa on YouTube. It's Sosapotence300, correct?
Yes, sir. Sosapotence300.
I've got you linked in the description. Check out his channel.
Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, so link in the description. And again, if you would prefer to listen to the podcast rather than look at our beautiful faces, you can, because we make it easy for you. You can find us on several audio platforms, including Amazon, Apple Podcasts, Anchor, Audible, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Pocket Casts, Radio Public, Spotify, and YouTube Music.
Woo.
Or you should just go and listen to all of them on all the platforms.
You all are mirroring your content on Odyssey, Rumble, and BitChute, right?
No.
You need to.
Yeah,
we're
a little behind.
I've been thinking about that, particularly Rumble. Because Rumble's going through a bit of a transformation itself.
If they could work on those fucking ads.
For real. And Rumble, like, I think it's a great system, but no one is there for anything but politics. We need normies to come over there.
That's true. Now I know Tate brought over like 500,000 people, but
yeah, but even them, they're political, you know.
Yeah, I was gonna say that goes into politics.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Now, BitChute, y'all be surprised how many views you can get over there.
We will take a look-ski at it.
All right. Yeah. Well, guys, I'm going to end this broadcast. We're still going to be on our stream, so we'll chat in a second. All right, everyone. Okay. Thanks for checking us out.